Welcome to
my presentation.
What's your topic?
My topic is identity and its relevance in politics and in India. In this contemporary society in the 21st century. My name is Vijay Krishna from MA Philosophy first year. First of all, identity. I asked so many people, what's your identity? Like, who are you? I asked. And most of the people say, I asked one girl from history department, and I asked, who are you? How do you identify yourself? She said her name, and after that I asked again, and she said surname, and after that again I asked, and she said her parents' name. After that again I asked her, I'm a Tamilian, she said her language. After that again I asked her a street name. She said street name, village name, a city name, state name, and after that, after so many times I asked her, she said country name. I'm an Indian, she said. After that I am asked, and she's saying continuously, she's identified with so many identities like surname, caste name, parents' name, father's name, street name, village name. I'm a fan of this, I'm a fan of that, I'm living in that, she said so many things. But what is identity and its relevance? That's what we are talking about. So identity. Identity is a form of self-love in which individuals celebrate in group identity. This is one kind of definition. Like in group, if anyone, like she said, like she's a Tamilian, she said. So Tamil language is one kind of identity, and in that identity, she is celebrating that language identity. For example, I am saying, and she said state. After that, she said state name. State is a one identity, and in that states there are that state is a group of people, and she is celebrating state identity. That is so. That is the thing. And this is one kind of definition. Identity refers to the qualities, beliefs, personality, looks, expressions that make a person or group. It encompasses various aspects of who we are and how we perceive ourselves, as well as how others perceive us. Like how I perceived her as a history student. I perceived her as she's a Tamilian. I perceived her she's a female. She's a girl. Like I perceived with so many identities. So she has so many identities, and she is also celebrating. Like an example, she's saying, and everyone, he or she, anyone is celebrating so many identities, and how we perceive ourselves, as well as how others perceive us. Identity is both personal. How we see ourselves, and she, from that example, she is seeing with many identities. So how we see ourselves is also one identity. And social, how others see us within a group or society. And types of identities. Like actually, you know that in India and in especially in Telugu states, surnames and caste names are so famous, and and in so many Telugu films on surname and caste name there are many songs are also there. So that much are famous identity in our India and in our society. So there are so many identities: personal identity, professional identity, cultural identity, and example. My classmate Satya said, I'm a fan of MS Dhoni. Like he is identifying with some kind of fanism. So fans identifying being a fan is also one kind of identity. So family, surname, and street name. And in most of the in some films are make on the like street fights. Some movies we can see its entire movie is based on between street fights and people, some group of people identifying with one state, and in between streets the film is revolving around this kind of identity. So this is what state is one kind of identity: village, religion, nationality, ethnicity, caste, language, so social identity, personal identity. There are so many identities are there. So the main thing is here the problem is not the identity. The problem is how we identifying ourselves, and the problem with identifying with not knowing what is real identity. So now we will discuss issues with identity, language. There are so many issues are there, that linguistic conflict in India, Punjab and Hindi conflict. Like I'm saying that people are identifying with some kind of identity, and with that identity, how people are stuck into the problems, and they are creating so many issues, and this kind of things. The Catalan independence movement in Spain, Kurdish-Turkish conflict in Turkey, and the language issue in Belgium, Flemish and French. That this is we are living in Pondicherry. This is the most famous thing. The Tamil-Sinhalese conflict in Sri Lanka. This is the most relevant thing to us. And how powerful identity, like how identity is powerful, is we can know. Mughal Empire is ruled over India, and so many long period, and that Mughal Empire started with Babur, and Babur is also ended with, and Babur won the war, and Babur entered into India with the power of identity only. Like Babur, the founder of Mughal Empire in India, entered in India through Battle of Panipat. In that Battle of Panipat war, and Babur don't have that much capacity to enter in India. But in that time, Babur used the identity. What is that identity? Like Babur said, jihad. Like he used identity called religion, and he imposed religious identity on people, and people also imposed themselves by identity. And then onwards, people are supporting him. That much identity is powerful. Like Babur used the term jihad, and the concept of identity are more related to broader context of his military and political strategies rather than a specific battle. In whatever the battle is, and if he thinks I'm losing, if in opposition kingdoms there are so many Muslim people are there, and he said jihad, we are the Muslims and we are the this thing, and so he imposed, because of his selfishness, he imposing religious identity on people, and people are also identifying themselves with certain identity, and he is grabbing the people with identity only. However, one notable aspect where religious motivation and identity played a key role. Finally, my point is this: religious motivation and identity played a key role in the Battle of Panipat, and Babur is entered into India and conquered India with only religious identity only. So that I am saying that much powerful the identity is. And the 30 years war, because of religious people are identifying with religious identity, this many wars are happened. Syrian civil war, Bangladesh communal riots. Recently, this is a contemporary example. People are imposing themselves with I'm a Hindu, I'm a Muslim, and there are so many conflicts are happening in Bangladesh, and here in India, like in our university also, I am also participated in that in that protection and all that. In Bangladesh, the conflicts are happened, and here people are the identity is called the Hinduism, or something is the one religious identity, and the conflicts are happened, and within the people living in India, the people living in Bangladesh is imposing themselves with Hindu like religious identity, and that identity is the identifying themselves in the people living in India, and the both are mutual identifying themselves with one similar concept, that is called religious identity, and with the because of that identity, here people are doing the rallies, something protests, something like that. So the relevance of identity is there in 21st century also. That Babri Masjid's case also, that is also because of religious identity only. Yeah, the civilian war. And relevance of identity in politics. Now we are living in a democratic form of government. So we are the relevance of identity in the democratic form of government is very much is there. How power mongers are using identity as a weapons. We see in historical aspects also how Babur used religious identity as grabbing power to rule the India. So in history also we witnessed that, and now in 21st century, and now currently we are living in the democratic form of government, and here in now India politicians, it is a official like now what is meant by democracy? Like democracy is a majority rule. Like how politicians in democratic form of government, how politicians will grab the power. For example, identity, language. Like in India, language is one of the prominent thing because we have so many languages, especially in Tamil Nadu. In Tamil Nadu, language is very much like they are identifying with very much language, and they are imposed by their feel anything like language is self like anything they feel they are with that language they will. They will feel energized, and they will feel pride, and they will feel anything. So in people of Tamil Nadu, the politicians of Tamil Nadu will use the language as identity. For example, I am saying like in any other states, in any other in the part of any other world, also in foreign also, we are this language people, and we have to vote for ourselves, and we have to do this, we have to do that, and there are so many people said like that. But the Tamil Nadu example very much relevant to us because like we are living near to Tamil Nadu. So the politicians in Tamil Nadu use the language as a weapon to rule the people. So we are the Tamilians, we don't have ruled by other language people. So we have to rule ourselves. Like I am saying, this is they are not only doing this. I am saying one of the factor, because in our topic is identity. That's why I am using only this. So they said we are the Tamilians, so we have the same language. We don't have to rule by other language people. So we have to rule ourselves. They said, okay, religion. If we say religious parties, what are the religious parties in India? Like officially they stated like MIM party is one kind of religion. Like they are in fact they are stated officially our religion is Muslim, like Islam religion, and like RSS and BJP religion as this as a religion. So this BJP party and the MIM party, they are using religion as a weapon, and they want to grab the power. So they are imposing on religious identity and people are identifying themselves with religion. So the democracy form of government is majority rule. So religion is the one of the major factor practiced by people. So they are imposing religious identity and people because people are also identifying themselves with religion because it is majority rule, and language, religion, caste, and ideology. Ideology I have a communist ideology, I have socialist ideology, I have some kind of ideology. There are so many ideologies are there, and we are in our organizations, in our university, SFI and BSF, and there are so many organizations. So they are identifying this. Our ideology is this. Our religion is this. Our caste is this. So they are identifying with these kind of things, and they are also imposing on people, and people also imposing themselves by this kind of identities, and with that practice. So religion and language used by people, so many large number of people. So democracy is the based on majority rule. So these kind of things are imposing, and majority of people living in India is identifying themselves with religion, and the people who are identifying themselves with religion voting to so particular kind of who are propagating this religion, so they are also feeling the mutual connection. So with that mutual connection, they are ruling us. So finally, my point is power lies in identity, because you are already told that. Yeah. And now the point is, now the main point is, so with the concept of identity, we faced so many kind of issues, because these kind of things, these are wars. So everyone, we all don't like wars, and we all don't like conflicts. We have to live happy, we have to live peaceful, and everybody wants happiness. So because of this kind of identities, we are all stuck into this kind of things. This concepts also. And this democracy form of government, they are using just these as their weapons. So they are actually not they are in the elections time, or in the speeches of politicians, they will not do what is the manifesto. They will not explain what they will do in most of the speeches, if you notice. So they will just impose it by themselves. So we don't have to exploit by politicians, and we don't have to stuck into that kind of wars, and we don't have to again and again we have to live it peaceful. So with the identity, this many conflicts, and we are exploiting by politicians, and we are imposing, and we don't know, we are imposing by themselves. That is the main thing, that is the key thing. If we know we are imposing by others, if we know we are influencing by politicians, then we will escape. But actually this the main important thing is, we are not knowing ourselves, imposing by others, we are imposing some kind of identity. So how we know this identities are not the good thing, how we know? And like now we have to prove that how identities will how we escape from identities. Now that's it. So because all identities will vary. Like I asked that girl, that girl said so many identities. So language. If I'm my mother tongue is Telugu. If I'm born in Tamil Nadu, my mother tongue will become Tamil. If I'm born in foreign France, Paris, my language will be Bari. So that is not my identity. My social identity. There are so many social identities are there. My religion and so many things, language, caste, ethnicity. So this personal identity also. If my personal identity is who am I? Said I'm a philosophy student. So that is one kind of my personal identity. If I do my PG course in political science, I am a political science student. So that is not my identity. my cultural identity. If I belong to some other place, my cultural identity will be changed. Like if fans, like I'm a fan of one hero, Pawan Kalyan. So if my taste will be different, and if some other hero will influence in my childhood me, my that hero will vary. So that is not the thing. My family or surname. In childhood, if my parents donate me to other parents, my surname will be changed. So that is not my identity. If I met with some accident, if I became a memory loss and something like that, so I don't know my village name, I don't know my street name, I don't know my family name, surname, and I don't know my anything. So this all identities are not a eternal thing, like not a permanent thing. So that these all identities are not my identities. Nationality also, if I born in some country, so India is not my country. So I don't have to identify with India is my country. So I have to do anything for my country. I don't have to do that, because if I born if I get the green card, something like that, if I change my nationality, so my nationality will be changed. Why I have to identify with some kind of country? So that is not my identity, I am saying. So how identities form? Like we are the people. So we all have minds. So what minds will do? Mind is there for thinking. So because of thinking, perceptions or opinions will form. So all identities are the perceptions, because the memory and that all thing contains in the mind. So if we met with some kind of accident or coma or something like that, if the memory will erase, our opinions and perceptions will all change. So in that mind only all identities are there. So if the mind become the empty, so no identities are there in mind. So we don't have to identify with some kind of identities. My point. So identities are mental construct or mithya. So if we now you are saying identities are some false, something like that. So how we can live without identity? So that's why in our philosophy the mithya concept is there, and the mithya means that is not the eternal thing, but it has some pragmatic value. We have to use all kind of identities. I am using my identity as the philosophy student. I am using my identity as an Indian. I am the son of my father. I am using because I have to live with them, because they have to give to money to me, and I have to live. So I am using identity because it has some pragmatic value. And why people are identifying themselves with some mental construct? Like we discussed some caste, religion, state, village, language. There are so many mental constructs are there. And why people are identifying themselves? And what is your real identity? And how can you know your real identity? And you are saying there is no identity is there. So why people are in India and something living in the West, why identify themselves with some kind of identity, and how they will know what is your real identity? Like the question is, we will ask ourselves. So these all are not my identities. So what is my identity? What is my identity? How I can know what is my identity is? So what is your real identity? How can we know, and how we have to identify with ourselves? So that answer is, philosophy will let you know what your real identity is. Like in Vedas and Upanishads, the Vedas set the stage for the concept of the self, while the Upanishads provide a more detailed and philosophical exploration, culmination in understanding of the self as a Atman, which is ultimately unified with the Brahman. And these texts highlight the significance of self-knowledge and spiritual realization in understanding human identity. And in Plato's book Phaedo, in his book, the book name is Phaedo, the Plato discussed about identity. Identity is closely connected to the soul's immorality and its relationship with the immortality and its relationship with the eternal forms. The allegory of the caves. So in the allegory of caves also, we all know that the fire will put in the cave and the people are walking into the behind the fire and the shadows will some kind of shape.
You are exceeding 5 minutes more, 25 minutes. I told you to 15
Just 1
minutes.
minute.
1 minute. You people have to prepare 15 minutes to 20, not this much. Again and again, lot of times repetition.
7. And Thomas Aquinas said about identity in De Ente Essentia. Thomas Aquinas provides a metaphysical account of human identity rooted in the distinction between essence and existence and the hylomorphism, form, matter, like form, matter, composition of the human beings. And Descartes in the book name Meditations on First Philosophy, René Descartes establishes human identity as fundamental tied to the mind or the capacity for thought rather than to the body or physical existence. Locke, tabula rasa. We all know tabula rasa means blank sheet. So if we identify the so-called identities, if removed from the mind will become empty. That is the tabula rasa. So we have to identify with that. So what the point is, we have to empty our mind. Yeah, that is the realization. That is enlightenment. Aristotle metaphysics, the identity of a human being is understood to the concept of substance, essence, and the unity of form and matter. Rationally, as the age function of the soul plays a crucial role.
Something means what? You are presenting means you have to read out. Is it right to tell that?
In human life.
In human life?
Yes.
It's a presentation, yeah, it's wrong.
Accepting everything. The solution is the identity. We have to accept consciously, accepting everything as identity. Consciously, like these all identities are not a permanent things, and these all identities are mithya, and it has some pragmatic value. We have to know that these all identities are mithyas. So we become to know consciously identities are mithya, and then onwards we have to identify with that identities. Or another option is there, rejecting every identity and accepting nothing as my identity. The two are there. And finally the eradication. And we as the philosophers have the duty, we have to eradicate caste, religion, and so many identities which are creating the problems and issues in society. That is our duty, and we have to eradicate, and we will eradicate that kind of identity in society, and the identities are there in people's mind. Yeah, it's over.